I'm going to start off this explanation of how Liberate works by showing you a demonstration of what you get out of Liberate at the end and working backwards to what you need to put into it so that you get a general idea. This is a house which we priced up for a contractor. It's a drawing rendering by the designer, and I will now show you the drawing that we actually used to price it. This is the drawing that we are using for the sample. We were standing here when we looked at that architect's rendering of this house. And these are all our measured areas over here, going up these steps to this area at the back. This is a program called Bluebeam, which we use for measurement, records all your measurements. There's all the measurements. And these same measurements were then transferred into the Excel sheet, which we're going to have a look at now. You don't have to use Excel for your measurements. We find it a lot quicker just to use Excel to do all our measurements. Once that's done, we've completed our measurement process, and we will then start our pricing process in. This is the spreadsheet which we took off, and although you don't have to do it on a spreadsheet, you can type your data straight into Liberate. In a bigger project, it probably is better to look at doing all your work onto a spreadsheet, typing in all your measurements, and then you can import this directly into Liberate as a template, line by line, to start pricing up. As I said to you, we are going to look at this project from the end and then start at the beginning. This is your end product, which is your schedule, which we imported from the spreadsheet, all fully priced up with all its resourcing. Resources are materials, labor, plant, and subcontractor. And in this particular item, diamond set edging, you've got these materials, this labor, that plant being machinery, and no subcontractors, producing a cost price of £112 a square meter it is. And there are your resourcing for that particular line item. Remember, with Liberate, we are always at this stage only trying to understand the cost. If we know exactly what a project is costing us to do, then we can make a profit. If we have no idea what it's costing us to do, we're putting a lot of risk, fat in, and we are not possibly being as competitive as we can be in winning the project. We want to know what our bottom line is. Here are the financials of this particular job. So this job is costing us 73,800 in materials, 53,000 in labor, 12 grand in plant. There are our margins, and there are our selling prices. Selling for a grand total of 224,000. Now let's have a look at the final result, and then we will go back to looking at some detail. The reports you're getting out of Liberate are, firstly, your job summary, which is a copy of the information we just saw electronically on the job financials, showing your final totals, your margins, etc. Of course, your client would never see this. The only schedule that your client does see is the schedule of works, which comes up in quite a few different formats that give you the ability to print it out with or without measurements, with or without VAT or GST, as the case may be, or put it out to a other electronic document format, Excel, Word, PDF, etc. All the reports do this. The details, which are how the job is made up at cost, just giving you a quick sample here of how it is, the sort of document you take into a meeting with you to discuss with your client. But again, your client would never see this because this has got all your commercial information on it, but allows you to do quick decision making on site or in that final meeting. These come out again in a number of different formats, which can then become daily worksheets for your labor force without the money on it, but with the quantities, and more on that in our training sessions. A list of your collated plants. So on this particular job, we see that there's muckaway disposal, or let's talk about excavator and dumper, collates them all together and says you have 137 hours of this type of excavator on site. There might be other excavators as well. There are. But very briefly, and your collated materials, again, it would collate all your concrete. So of this particular type of concrete, which you're buying in 10 cubic meter plus quantities, you've got 27.61 cubic meters, but you've also got other concretes here, which you can choose to amalgamate if you want to, but it gives you the information. For instance, 16.06 cubic meters of site mixed concrete.